Hey everyone, Happy New Year from Yoreevo. This is James coming to you with our December Manhattan market update, and to our continued surprise, momentum keeps building. We saw a 32% increase in contract activity in December, that's year over year, and then perhaps more surprisingly, we saw an increase December compared to November. So normally you see a decline in December as buyers and sellers are both preoccupied with the holidays, but we actually saw a 13% increase versus the normal 14% decrease. So if we jump to the monthly contract chart, you can see both the 31% increase, but perhaps more surprisingly, this is the normal trend. You see, last 3 years we saw a decline in December compared to November, but this year we went up. And if you remember last month, it was particularly driven by the high end, but not this month. This month it is being driven by, across the board by all price points. So if we look at the contract activity by price point, you see 30 to 40% increases across the board. So very strong, very broad-based performance for the market in December. And then I thought it was also important to look at just how consistent the demand has been, the strength in demand, that is. And you remember back here, this is the second half of October, we saw a pickup. Basically, we had been plateauing around this 150 per month, and then it just stepped up to 200. And we've consistently been at or above that 200 deals per week level since. And yes, we did have these 3 weeks here, but this is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And we're filming this on Friday, so there's going to be a couple more deals that are going to get added to this. So very consistent, very strong demand, really no deviations, nothing troubling here. It's just very strong, consistent demand. And I thought it was also interesting, Toll Brothers, for those who are not familiar, they're a public home builder, but they also develop condos, new development in New York City. And on their earnings call in December 8th, the CEO said, "I am very encouraged by the last 6 weeks of activity in Manhattan. I'm not telling you it's back, but it's improving. We're hearing that buyers with the talk of the vaccine are now thinking of living in New York. We're hearing a few stories of some that went to the suburbs that they're coming back to take a look." So everything is going in the right direction, and that includes inventory as well. So if you remember last month, we finally saw a decline in inventory, which is what you normally see in November, but it was bucking the counter seasonal trends that we had been seeing since lockdown ended. So inventory had been building ever since lockdown ended, and then it peaked here in October, and then we saw the normal seasonal decline in November, and that continued into December. So still very high, still a lot of inventory to burn off, but it seems like the abnormal additions to the market inventory-wise have all taken place, and now we should be back to normal seasonality going forward. It's going to be particularly important to see what happens here in the spring, because as you can see, inventory normally rises here in the spring, but it's very encouraging to see inventory going in the right direction, sales going in the right direction. If you can get those two continuing, the market is going to stabilize, and we're going to see improvement sooner rather than later. And we have the pricing data here, but again, really no change here. You really need a differentiated and/or well-priced property for it to sell quickly. And if you try to be optimistic with your pricing, it's not going to sell. But if we can see that inventory come down, if we can going back to the inventory chart here, if you see this spread between 2019 and 2020, if we can see that continue to compress and get back closer to last year's levels, then buyers will have fewer choices. They'll miss out on a couple properties. They won't have as many backup options. They'll get a little more aggressive with their offers. And those are the gears that you need to start chugging along to start getting pricing on the recovery path. So if you're in the market, let us know where you're looking, what type of property you're looking at, because we've been very active. We've seen similar trends as the overall market. And no matter where you're looking, we've probably done a deal there. We're happy to weigh in on exactly what we're seeing in that neighborhood, that price point, that property type, whatever. So you can reach out to us at info@yoreevo.com, and we look forward to sharing January results next month. Thanks a lot. Bye.